Joining us once again is Nick Barrotta. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. We've met a few times, but first time in studio here, so this is great.
I was
This is awesome.
excited. I know because I get to see you a lot of times at charitable
Yeah.
events or golf outings and things like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So welcome to our humble abode.
Beautiful. We
This
were
is
just
our
saying how great the energy is here. This is great. This is awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
It feels like home to me. A couple of props that have been with me my whole life. One is there's a lamp behind that staircase. That was my grandma and grandpa Campana's.
Oh, wow.
And the television behind me was actually the wedding gift between my two parents. So when they got married in 1964, they bought that television. And
Wow.
as a kid growing up, I used to tell my dad, could you please just keep the TV? Someday I'm going to use it as a table. Didn't even understand that that was a reality.
I love
See what
that.
I'm saying?
That's
Like
amazing.
sometimes the things you claim as a child,
Right,
like
right.
all of a sudden somehow happen
That's
and
amazing.
you
I
were
love
right.
that.
So
Yeah.
for you, at what age did you know that you were going to grow up to be this version of you?
That's a great question. I think I always had these big dreams and this passion for the entertainment industry. So it was always kind of the game plan. But as you know, and a lot of people you've had on the show, there's no blueprint really to get to that point, right? It's a lot about just keeping that fire alive inside of you and you know fighting for what you believe in, and I just never took my eyes off the prize. So I guess to answer the question is really since I was little, it's just always been the dream. So just stayed on course and kept chipping away.
Yeah, an
Yeah,
actor's constantly always looking for their next gig,
yeah,
their next something, right?
yeah,
Where
yeah.
if you become a nurse, right, after graduation,
Hmm.
likely you're going to get a job,
Right,
right?
exactly.
When you choose to do something in the arts, it's always that it's like being a farmer. Time
Right.
to you plant the crops,
Yep.
you reap the
I
harvest,
always say you
right?
plant the seeds and you take time watering those seeds. And,
Yes.
even today, there's a lot of relationships and things that have come to fruition that I've planted, right, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So people who think, oh, wow, what a year it's been for you, this overnight success, or when did this happen? Honestly, 10 years in the making, right?
Yeah.
So I tell a lot of people who think that, it's a quick sort of overnight success. It's really, takes time to marinate. People think we live in this microwavable culture, I say, when in fact it's the complete opposite. You got to take your time and really marinate.
It's
Marinate.
also nice to see other people's careers kind of grow alongside of you.
Absolutely.
Like people that you went to grade school with,
Yeah.
middle school,
Yeah.
high school,
Hmm.
college, right? And then all of a sudden you look to your left, to your right, and there they are
Oh yeah.
with their own
It makes it that much
growth.
sweeter.
It
There's a lot
does.
of people that I grew up with now that are doing amazing things. Good friends of mine that have just been doing, in other areas of business, just finding success. And I'm always rooting for people on. And I truly believe, the more you put out there, the more you believe in others, it'll come back and it creates more miracles. So I'm happy to see so many people doing well. Like yourself, by the
Oh,
way. I love what
oh,
you're doing
thank
here.
you.
You've been doing it for so long, and you're a perfect example. Hard
Thank you.
work brings great rewards.
And speaking of miracles,
Mm.
you're a dad now.
Yes, yes, that's the greatest miracle of all. Honestly, it's been such an amazing journey, and I got to shout out my wife Liz, who really has just been a supporter of my dreams for all these years, and has made even the transition into becoming a dad, that much more enjoyable and seamless, really. And I'll never forget this text. Tyler Perry, who I've known for some time now, he sends me a text when we first got the news that we were expecting my daughter. He goes, as an actor, this is the greatest role that you'll ever step into. Because all the show business stuff to the side, this is real life. This is the role that counts. So
Well,
it's been great.
knowing I haven't met Tyler yet,
Yeah.
but I would think maybe he'd say, "Well, name the baby after him."
Yeah, right.
And call her Perry.
Maybe the next one. It's not a bad idea. Maybe that'll keep me working for longer, right?
Maybe,
If
maybe.
we.
And let's talk about the Oval,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What do you enjoy best about that role?
Man, well, anybody that's worked for Tyler Perry knows that we shoot fast. Unlike any other production, we move fast and we really just get in and we get out. But as an actor, and it being really my first scripted gig, now we're going on season 7. We're on season 6 now, but it really was like a boot camp for me. It was like a workshop because you're thrown into this fire that Tyler Perry creates in the best way possible, and it challenges you in the best way possible. So for me, as an actor, it's made me grow tremendously, but also even just in life and learning about the business, it's taught me so much. So we have a great time on the show. Obviously, the fans are showing up every week to
Yes.
support us. We're going on 7 seasons, which is crazy. So shout out to everybody that supports the show. But yeah, it's taught me so much in so many different ways. So just thankful to be filming still and rocking and rolling.
How do you learn your lines?
Well, I have a few. That's funny you asked that because we don't have much time to learn them. Speaking of, the way
Right.
Tyler Perry shoots. But yeah, I just lock in. Sometimes we got, there's apps now. You put the headphones on. You just sort of, that repetition is everything for me. you know, I tried when I first started acting. I tried. Let me see if I can sleep on the script.
Right.
You know, and I'll wake up
Yeah.
knowing everything. That didn't work out too well. But there's some tricks in that, you know, you try and throw into the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sometimes write my lines on like a gigantic whiteboard because I find writing them,
Yeah,
reading them
another
like
trick, for sure.
a good trick. It's not that easy.
No.
Does he occasionally let you ad lib if you kind of almost get the line right?
Yeah, a
Is
little
it
bit. You know, he
okay?
wants you to make it your own for sure. But you know, Tyler Perry being such a pioneer in the industry and such a professional, right? You
Right.
want to do him justice too.
Correct.
You don't want to
Get it right.
Exactly. You want to make him proud, and you know, he puts a lot of time and effort into his projects, into his work. So you want to do right by him. But you know, there's a little flexibility there for sure.
When you saw Duplicity, what were your thoughts when you
man.
saw the whole thing together?
Well, my first feature film,
Yeah.
so it was a dream come true for me. Still sort of pinching myself. It was such an amazing experience going to the premiere and seeing all. It was just so much fun. But watching it for the first time was special, you know. And if someone were to ask me, you know, would you believe that you'd be doing this? The answer is yes. You know, I've worked really hard, and it's just a special time that I've been trying to really embrace and lean into. But we're excited for what's next. You know, we enjoyed that moment. It's on Prime now. If you want to tune in, it went to #1, which was incredible. So hopefully we just keep the ball rolling.
Keep it
But
going.
it's been amazing. It's been
Keep
amazing.
it going.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you know, if somebody asked you, would you have known back then?
yeah.
Have you spoken at your high school, or have you gone back
Oh,
to
yeah.
speak?
Oh yeah, I've been back to the high school, other high schools now.
Okay.
I'm really leaning into, you know, just speaking into the next generation a bit and going back to you know, these schools and you know, volunteering a lot. I believe that, you know, a lot of these kids who, again, there's no blueprint, right? There's no, how do you get there? I'm that guy who happily will show up and kind of help light that fire inside of you a little bit. And selfishly, it feels good too to be able to have a voice now a bit and use it for good. And again, sorry I'm rambling here, but Tyler Perry, you know, he's changed my whole idea of success, right?
Wow.
At one point it was like, okay, what cars are we getting next? What are we doing here? Where are we going? Where are we traveling to? But really, and all that stuff is great, but you know, how can you help people?
Yes.
You know, I always say about him, he shines so bright, his light, that he allows others to find their way. So for me now, success has become, what can I do with this little platform that I'm building and this voice that now people are starting to hear a bit. So that's the goal.
Well, and that's why I see you at so many charitable events,
you go.
because you are using that talent in the most beautiful way.
Well, I appreciate that.
So it's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
And,
Likewise.
and thanks for coming over.
This is great. I
And
don't want to leave. It's fun.
you can stay as long as you'd like, Nick. Nick Barrotta, and once again, it's Nick Barrotta, and once again, it's Nick Barrotta. There you go, three times the charm.
Take it.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We're living it up right here. Thanks for watching.